Hey y'all, it's Nuno Bettencourt here, and I know it's last minute, but I want to invite anyone and everyone down to the Coach House Concert Hall in San Juan Capistrano tomorrow night, Thursday night. Why? Because it's going to be a special night for me. I'm actually going to be performing at least a few songs, I believe. I'm going to watch one of my heroes, one of my all-time heroes, one of the biggest influences on me. Pat Travers is performing down at the Coach House tomorrow night in San Juan Capistrano. And I was going to go to see the show anyways. I just saw him recently, but I could watch Pat perform, 7 days a week, 7 nights a week, if that was possible. And the reason this is such a big deal for me, this is a big, big, big dream come true. This is up there. I know I've been able in my lifetime to do some amazing things and perform with some amazing people. But, when people talk about the Mount Rushmore of guitar, and in the past, I've always, in conversations and interviews and with peers, we always have this kind of like, what's your Mount Rushmore? And, I've always said Jimmy Page, Edward Van Halen, Brian May, and I've always thrown in Jimi Hendrix as the fourth one. And which is because of what he's done. Obviously, I don't know if any of those other guys that I mentioned would even exist without Hendrix, but that's more of a Mount Rushmore. If people say, okay, now what's your personal Mount Rushmore? Like to you, what is your icons and the guys who really made you who you are as a guitar player and influenced you that much into your DNA of playing that is so recognizable? And it would still be Edward, it would still be Brian May, it'd still be Jimmy Page, but that fourth guy would have to be Pat Travers, without a doubt. I don't mention him enough. We don't talk about him enough. He, in the funk guitar world, there is no way what I did with Get the Funk Out and what I did with Extreme would even be that sound if it wasn't for Pat Travers' influence on me. As a matter of fact, when Brian May met me for the first time and he talked about Get the Funk Out and he said, what kind of person writes a riff that's that, like all these like sort of different movements within riffs instead of just one straight rock riff? And I told him, why Pat Travers? And he said, excuse me? And I said, yeah, Pat Travers, motherfucker. I mean, when you go listen to snorting whiskey, drinking cocaine, that song alone to me is a masterpiece in rock and roll. The riffs, the playing, the soloing, the drumming, the bass, the pocket, the feel is everything that really shaped me. I was always attracted to the funk side of rock, and Pat was a massive, massive influence in songs like Getting Better. If you go and check out Pat Travers live, Go For What You Know in London, from the streets of Toronto to the streets of London, go listen. That was my Bible. That was my funk, guitar, rock Bible. And I've never gotten to perform with Pat. He's always been a hero of mine. He actually did a little bit on Get the Funk Out, the original, but he didn't really get to play. We didn't really come out the way we wanted it to. I was young, stupid, whatever. And I'm getting a chance to perform with a hero, an idol of mine, who is in the fabric of my being as a guitarist, as a writer, as a singer. And I am so pumped. So if anybody can make it down, come down. I'm telling you, we're going to blow the roof off this fucking place. I'm playing about 4 or 5 songs with him. And I get to sit there and not only watch my idol, then I get to go up and jump up with him. And I know this is NAMM week. Anybody that's down in Anaheim that wants to shoot down to San Juan Capistrano, go down there. We'll hang out, have a beer, and that's it, man. It's a big day for me, big night for me. I'm so grateful that Pat is allowing me to share the stage with him. He is an absolute icon to me, and one of the most influential guys. Yes, Edward. Yes, Jimmy Page. Yes, Brian. But just as equal, I'm telling you, for me, just as equal in how he affected me and how he changed my game and is in my DNA. Pat Travers all the fucking way. Most underrated. And if you can catch him, he's still fucking touring like a fucking tour dog that he is. And he's still playing clubs, playing wherever they'll let him fucking play, because this music needs to be heard. And go check out his stuff, man. Especially just snorting whiskey. Just throw that on and turn it way the fuck up. I promise you're going to fucking dig it. I just played it for a bunch of friends of mine here in Jamaica. They're like, fuck, man, this is insane. And it is insane. So tomorrow night, San Juan Capistrano, get down there. I promise it'll be a good fucking time. Some old school fucking rock and roll and some funk and pocket and some tasty fucking playing. Lastly, when you come down, make sure we're going to have a bunch of sort of these printed out little flyers and little cards that you scan a code to help out with all the fires that are going in LA and all our brothers and sisters out here, and what everybody's going through is just beyond, it's just beyond belief. So you get a little scan to donate a little money to help towards Music Cares. We would be so grateful, because you know it is hard to go out there and actually play right now and just go and try to live a normal life when others are just dealing with losing just about everything, their memories, everything they've ever had. It's like everybody is stalled for so long and trying to help and trying to figure out what to do. And you know, when people like Pat come into town and do a show like this, you know, I hope and I look at this as like, you know, a bit of an escape for anybody who's just, you know, who's just around it and seeing it and maybe has a moment to want to go and listen to some rock and roll just to get away from it all for just a couple of hours. And because, you know, rock and roll heals the soul. So please donate if you can when you go down there, and we'll see you once again. We'll see you down in San Juan Capistrano tomorrow night at the Coach House Concert Hall with Pat motherfucking Travers. You heard me. See you there.